Wellness Wednesday is brought to you by Adventist Health.
Welcome back to another Wellness Wednesday. We're up here in the kitchen, and joining me, two special guests, Javier Carr with Blue Zones Project Bakersfield, and also Carmen Bravo, a dietitian, Bravo Nutrition Consulting. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
All right. I was talking to them a few minutes ago because I'm the type of guy who can't really drink coffee because of the acidity. I get up at 3:30, which her eyes went like this when I told her I get up at 3:30 every day. I'm actually at work at 3:30, so I needed maybe a little bit of caffeine. We'll get into that in just a second, but talk about what we're going to be making here.
Yeah, so today we're going to be making a chai. We call it cha. Punjabis call it cha, but a lot of the times people will call it chai tea, which just means tea. So next time you go out for a cup of chai, just say, can I have a nice chai? And that'll serve.
And I made the mistake. I said, we're making chai tea. She says, no, that's a kind of a double negative here. We're making chai, which chai is tea.
Yes.
So what are we putting into this recipe first?
So we're starting off, I already have this boiling, and
Yes.
it's just water, crushed black tea leaves, and we also have fennel seeds.
Okay.
We don't have it right now, but cardamom pods, crushed cardamom pods, add a lot of flavor as well.
Okay, Carmen, I have to ask, what are the benefits of this? Because you and I were talking a minute ago, I can't drink coffee because the acidity gives me an upset stomach. So I did not know that chai, I almost said chai tea.
Chai tea.
Chai has high caffeine.
Yes, so it is caffeinated, and so it's gonna help with that alertness. But because chai does have like different spices, and you can use whatever you want, we're using the fennel seed, right? And so with a lot of these spices, it helps with soothe that stomach upset. So that's why it has more benefit when you have chai tea or chai tea lattes, because it has those spices, whatever you can use, and it helps soothe that digestive tract.
For those that may need it a little bit sweeter, so we're going to talk about how on the Blue Zone side, how we can make this a little bit different than traditional, right?
Absolutely. So you can add whatever sweetener of your choice, but for Blue Zones approved, we like to use maple syrup because it's just better for your gut, it's better for your body, so that's kind of what we recommend doing. So the next step to our boiling tea mixture is to just go ahead and add a cup of oat milk, and oat milk is also Blue Zones approved. We suggest using oat milk over other milk, and we also suggest any kind of other milk. You can use almond milk and soy milk. Just for this chai recipe, oat milk, it kind of has a similar texture to whole milk, and that's why we recommend that one.
Now, would you say in the Indian culture, because you were saying this is kind of an Indian cultural favorite, would you say more over coffee?
Yeah, for sure.
And for the culture, why more of a chai than like regular coffee, would you say? Do you have an answer?
I
put her on the spot. I'm just so fascinated by the Indian culture that, that's why I'm asking.
I think chai actually came from Great Britain. So they brought black tea to India during the colonization time. So when they brought that over, it kind of just stuck with India, and they kind of took it and made it their own. So that's kind of why it's huge in Punjab and all other sorts of parts of India. I know my parents love it. This is one thing that they brought back from India, and they have it 2 to 3 times a day. So that's why I'm so familiar with it, despite not drinking it much myself.
Well, and that's the one thing I've learned in the Indian culture too, having neighbors that are Indian. You guys have such amazing spices.
Yes.
So much health benefit to all the spices that they use in their cuisines, and we're talking about chai. So we put all the milk in here. Do we add the sweetener now, or do we wait?
You can choose to add the sweetener whenever. I like to strain the mixture and then add in the sweetener and then stir it in.
Okay.
So we're going to bring this to a boil, and then once it boils, we'll strain it out into the cup.
Hey, look at that. It's a perfect strainer for that cup, too. I would not be that lucky to find something like that. All right. So once we get to this boil, so we're starting to get to a little bit of a boil here, so we're just going to pour that right on top?
Yes.
And strain it out.
Watch your hands.
Has a great aroma, by the way, because of the spices.
Yes.
So you want to make sure you strain this well, because all the black tea leaves are crushed, and you don't want that mixture getting into your tea.
And a fine strainer, right?
And a fine strainer. Yes.
All right.
And then we'll take some of our handy dandy sugar-free maple syrup, and then we'll add that. And you can choose how much sweetener you want in your chai. I don't really like it very sweet. This is not open.
This is what we call a flub, a blooper.
A blooper.
That's right.
Putting it on it.
Let me see.
We're telling you, it's fresh maple syrup.
There you go.
All right, there you have it.
For some reason, I knew that was going to happen. All right, perfect.
All right.
And then you can mix it or just let it set. And there you go. You have your chai. Don't say the word tea because it's just chai. Thank
chai.
you so much for joining
You're
us.
welcome.
That is
Thank
another
you.
great recipe. And I'm going to take a sip for myself
Yeah.
because I have not had chai. So have a great day, everyone.